won a title last year, maybe I got fooled. I thought, oh, this is interesting. This could last a while. They had the best player in the league. They were very consistent. They ran their offense through him. They had a great closer who was always willing to shoot in Jamal Murray. I liked their coach. They could defend. They were a great clutch time team. You never doubted them late. I kind of knew what I had with the Nuggets. And so when they won last year, I said, it reminds me a lot of the Spurs. Good scouting, good coaching, a dominant big. Yeah. Well, maybe I got fooled. I mean, they did lose in Game 7 to a good Minnesota team. Maybe I got fooled. Maybe they come back. I don't know. But at least I want to thank the Celtics for their transparency. If they do win a title this year, no chance at a dynasty. They're just too weird. This is the strangest team. They classify as almost a bad team at home in the playoffs. Unheard of. Tatum, he's their best player, but Al Horford shot 12 threes. I don't know if they're well coached. What actually is their offense? Let's be honest. Pacers blew it. 21 turnovers, 2 ugly ones late, but Jayson Tatum did not have a field goal or an assist in the last 9 minutes of regulation. He was fine in overtime, Tatum was, but come on, it's the Spurs. It's the Pacers. They're young kids. You could tell from their turnovers they weren't quite ready for the moment. You expect them to pull back on the road in overtime a little. But in a star-driven league, Tatum not only disappoints, he just disappears. And I've been on this for 4 years. What is this offense? Where does he go? What is he thinking? To not have an assist? Forget the points. You can shoot poorly. To not have an assist in the final 9 minutes of regulation? I do think Boston, with this group, will eventually, I think, win a title. But it's a hard team to like and a hard team to figure out. They're almost the opposite of the team everybody loved, the Knicks. They don't have a lot of grit. They live on the three-pointer. They actually have a lot of talent, but you're not necessarily sure it'll show up in big moments. And their star often disappears, the opposite of Jalen Brunson. They're the opposite of the Knicks. They're just not terribly likable unless you're a Celtics fan. And here's the thing. I went into this series, and I'm thinking, well, young Pacers don't defend. But after last night, I watched them, and I think the Pacers are long, they're deep, they're healthy, they're well coached. We may have ourselves a series. And for the record, the general manager of the Celtics, Brad Stevens, he addressed 2 things in the offseason. So he saw the issues. One of them, he went and got Porzingis. Al Horford, defensive liability in big games. And Pascal Siakam attacked him last night. And the second thing he went is another offensive player. They got rid of Marcus Smart. They got a better offensive player with the same sort of grit in Jaylen, in Drew Holiday. And Holiday had his best game as a Celtic last night. He was great and necessary as Brown didn't deliver and Tatum disappeared. So Brad Stevens, who just won Executive of the Year, clearly saw what we have been talking about and seeing for a couple of years. They need more talent with size, and they clearly miss Porzingis. Pascal Siakam's going to be a problem without him. Report today he may come back for Game 4. And Drew Holiday was crucial last night. One of the things that happens during games like this, and it's sort of old school and new school. So if a team, by the way, leads by 3, and the other team has the ball with a couple seconds left, the old feeling, the old school guys, like Rick Carlisle is, hey, I'm going to let a guy jack up a 3. I'm not going to foul him. I mean, the best guys in the league shoot 39, 40% on threes. Go ahead, take your chance. And it was Jaylen Brown's only 3 he hit all game. I kind of tend to be old school. Go beat me. Go hit a 3. New school analytics believes you always foul, send him to the line instead of the chance he hits a 3. Again, it's only, 37, 38, at best 40% somebody hits a late game 3. But foul them, even if they hit free throws, you save a point, right? And you play the math game. But here's the thing. In the NFL, analytics also tell you should always go for 2 points after a touchdown. Always. Yeah, if I have McVay and Stafford or Mahomes. and Andy Reid or Kyle Shanahan or a Sean Payton. But what if I have a shaky O-line, limited weapons, and Kenny Pickett and a defensive culture? I'm kicking the PAT. So a lot of the analytic mavens, they always think it's sort of a one-size-fits-all. And my take has always been, no, it's all situational. I do not believe you always go for it. Peyton Manning has talked about this at length, is that, everybody wants the two-point conversion. But if you're playing the Ravens in their prime and you somehow, off a turnover, cobble together a 7-play drive to score a touchdown on a great throw by Peyton, you're struggling to pick up yards. Your interior offensive line is getting pushed back. You've got elite corners for the Ravens in their prime. You just kick a field. You just kick the PAT. So I think in this situation, Al Horford was their big three-point attempt guy last night. Jaylen Brown hadn't hit one. I tend to be a little old school. Like, I get it, though. I get the math. I'm not anti-analytics. But I think it's a lot more contextual than people say. I don't think it's one size fits all. I don't think you should always go for two. Brandon Staley got fired with the Chargers. One of his big misfirings early was going for it deep in territory, his own territory, against a team that had a pretty good quarterback and a good field goal kicker, and he went for it because analytics say you should go for it. And in the end, Charger Nation buried him. These coaches, you got to be careful. We all overreact to everything. Mind the Game podcast. Now, I was thinking about this. If I coached the Celtics and I had Drew Holiday, Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, and they were all on the floor, even an Al Horford, they're old veteran players. I would trust them to make the right foul. But as LeBron pointed out, the Pacers are young. They're terrible defensively. They're on the road. Do they hesitate? Do they foul somebody as he's shooting? They hit a three. So again, if I'm Boston's coach, I would be much more confident late game fouling. Play the analytic math game. Pacers, I wouldn't feel that same level of confidence. Carlisle after took the loss, took the blame. I get it. That's what you do. You want your team to feel like, hey, I screwed up. You played great. Now, I would hope that the Celtics in game 2 at home would play with a lot more urgency. But I'm watching that last night, and I don't know, J-Mac, what the line is for game 2. I would think Boston's favored by 6 or 7 or 8. But I was looking at the Pacers, and I'm like, hey, with Porzingis out, Siakam can eat. They're deep. They have a good rotation. They're well coached.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.